The title of today's Brandon's blog is What Happens When You File for Bankruptcy in Canada but Cannot Speak Basic English. The genesis for this week's blog that Brandon wrote comes from a position paper published by the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy on July 24, 2023, on this very topic. My name is Ira Smith, president of Ira Smith, Trustee and Receiver, Inc. Both Brandon Smith and myself are available to answer any questions you may have, either about this Brandon's blog or anything else at all. So shoot us a message, give us a phone call. We would love to speak with you. I hope you can watch until the end of this video because I know you will find it informative. Brandon first gives an introduction into the bankruptcy process and how it is difficult enough for an ordinary person to try to comprehend, but especially for those where English or French is not their first language and they have trouble speaking the language. Now, I'm going to use English for the rest of this video, but you can interchange English or French because, of course, they're both official languages of Canada. Brandon then goes on to talk about the importance of understanding the bankruptcy process, requirements and eligibility criteria for filing bankruptcy in Canada, and then talks about challenges faced by individuals where they cannot speak basic English and types of insolvency processes people and companies can access. Then Brandon talks about access to support services, which leads into the Superintendent of Bankruptcy's position paper, which was written because of a court decision out of British Columbia a year ago. And what that court decision says is that a licensed insolvency trustee must retain a qualified interpreter where the bankrupt person does not speak English well enough or is not comfortable conducting business in English for either an examination by the Superintendent of Bankruptcy or for a meeting of creditors. But the court went on to say the trustee is required to retain the interpreter, but it doesn't mean the trustee has to personally pay for the interpreter. So in either a receivership, a corporate bankruptcy, a Division I proposal, or an ordinary personal bankruptcy administration, there shouldn't be an issue because there's enough money in the estate to pay for the interpreter. But where the problem comes in is either a summary administration bankruptcy or similarly a consumer proposal. Because in a summary administration bankruptcy, the trustee's fee is a tariff set by the government, and the trustee is given an allowance of $100 to cover any expenses the trustee might incur. In a consumer proposal, there is no allowance for expenses, and there's just a fee, again, set by tariff by the government. So in those two cases of a summary administration or consumer proposal, it may be the case that although there is enough money in the estate to pay for the interpreter, until that court case was decided, the trustee previously could not use that money to pay for the interpreter. Now they can. But the superintendent of bankruptcy has thrown a bit of a monkey wrench into it because their position paper says, Mr. Trustee or Madam Trustee, you either have to eat that expense yourself, but if you want to get it paid out of the estate in a summary administration or consumer proposal, you have to go through a full court taxation process. You cannot use the streamlined fee approval process that the government established for those streamlined insolvency processes. What the superintendent of bankruptcy's position paper doesn't say is that once you go for the full taxation and you have to incur that additional cost, the superintendent of bankruptcy may very well oppose the time it takes the trustee to go to court for taxation, where if they use the streamlined system, they wouldn't have to. We don't know. We're just blue skying. So I hope you can read the entire Brandon's blog below, because I know you will get value from it. Again, both Brandon Smith and myself are available to answer any questions you may have, either about this Brandon's blog or anything else at all. Shoot us a message, give us a phone call. We would love to speak with you.